Good morning, class. I am Sir Jeff. So, before we proceed to our main topic, let us have first discuss our learning objectives. So, our learning objectives is that at the end of the lesson, student must first identify the varieties and registers of language. Second, analyze the usage of language. So, let us first discuss the meaning of left and register. So let's define as a variety of language, and language variety is made up of three things. First, its own pronunciation. Second, its own words. Third, its own structure. So it is retrieved from the language, learn language on your own.com. So let us proceed now to register. So, according to the Purposive Communication Book, register is the level of formality that a person uses when he or she speaks or writes. So it would not be the same style or level of formality that you will bring using when communicating with different kinds of people and at different situations. So we are now down to the definition of lect and register. So we are going to define or we are going to tackle about the varieties of language. First, we have dialect. So dialect defined as the variety of language spoken in a region or province. Example of dialects are Tagalog, Bulacan, Tagalog, Laguna, Kapampangan, Ilocano, and Pangasinense, and etc. So second, we have the ethnolect. Sorry. We have the ethnolect. This variety refers to the language spoken in a certain ethnic or cultural group. An example is Ibanag, the variety used by the ethnolinguistic minority inhabiting the provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, and Nueva Vizcaya. For example, legal terms used by lawyers. An example of this is the legislative, judiciary, and executive. So, we are down to edulect. Edulect is the variety of language that is distinct or unique to an individual. For example, the newscasters read the news are different. Each has its own unique way that a listener can distinguish one newscaster from another. Fifth is the so-called pidgin. Pidgin defined as the new language that is developed when people do not share a common language because they come from different places and try to communicate to each other. Sixth is the Creole. Creole is first language learned by children, so it is called Creole. Lastly, we are going to discuss about the different registers, levels of language. So first, we have the formal register, second, informal register, and third, neutral register. First, we are going to define the word formal register. So first, this is what is used for most academic and professional communication or papers that make use of academic and professional vocabulary. Second, informal register. So informal register is the kind of register used by a person when conversing with friends and people known to him or her. An example of this is that when you call your friend, you are going to say, hey, what are you doing? So that is kind of informal register. So the word hey, what are you doing is the example of informal register. So you are talking about your friend in an informal manner. So third, neutral register. This is the register used to deliver facts and may not be specifically formal or informal. That make use of factual rather than emotional challenge. So that concludes our topic for today. So I hope you learned something.